something happens to you that no other creature on Earth does. You feel a wave of sadness or grief, or even overwhelming joy, and your eyes fill with water. It spills down your face, and everyone around you instantly understands. You're crying. Now here's the strange part. Out of the roughly 8 million animal species on this planet, you are the only one that does this. Not the only one that makes tears. Every animal with eyes makes tears. But you are the only animal that makes tears because of how you feel. Think about that. Your dog can whimper. A wounded elephant can wail. A baby monkey can scream for its mother. But none of them, not a single other species, leaks salt water down its face when its heart breaks. Only you. And the question of why is one of the strangest, most human mysteries in all of biology. So let's figure out what's actually happening when you cry, because it's a lot weirder than you think. First, we need to be clear about what crying even is, because there are 3 completely different kinds of tears, and only one of them makes us special. There are basal tears, the invisible layer that keeps your eye from drying out, and reflex tears, the ones that flood your eyes when you chop an onion. Every animal with eyes makes both. But the third kind, emotional tears, the ones that come when you're heartbroken or moved or furious or relieved, appear to belong to us alone, and we know they're genuinely different, not just the same salty water, because of a scientist named William Frey. In the 1980s, Frey did something nobody had thought to do. He collected people's tears, emotional tears from people watching sad films, and reflex tears from people slicing onions. And when he analyzed them, they were chemically different. Emotional tears contained significantly more protein and higher concentrations of stress hormones like cortisol, which led Frey to a wild idea. What if crying isn't just an expression of emotion, but a way of physically flushing stress chemicals out of your body? What if, when you cry, you are literally excreting sadness? That theory is still debated, but it tells you something right away. Your emotional tears are not the same fluid as your onion tears. Your body makes a special, different kind of water for your feelings, and no other animal has been shown to do that. So the obvious question is why? Why would evolution, which is famously ruthless and practical, build an animal that springs a leak every time it's overwhelmed? On the surface, crying makes no sense. It blurs your vision. In the wild, blurry vision is how you get eaten. It signals weakness. It's exhausting. From a pure survival standpoint, an animal that goes half blind and visibly distressed at the worst moments of its life should have been wiped out long ago. So the fact that natural selection kept it around means it must be doing something powerful enough to be worth the cost. And the leading answer is beautiful. Crying is a signal. Specifically, it may be one of the most honest signals in the entire animal kingdom. Here's what that means. Most animal signals can be faked. A dog can bare its teeth to look tougher than it is. A bird can puff up its feathers. Animals bluff constantly. But tears are almost impossible to fake on command. You can't simply decide to cry the way you decide to smile. Real emotional tears erupt from a place deeper than your conscious control, and that makes them incredibly trustworthy. When you see genuine tears, you know the emotion behind them is real. So the theory goes like this. Early humans lived and died by cooperation. Alone, a human is a soft, slow, clawless snack. Together, humans are the most dominant force the planet has ever seen. But cooperation only works if you can trust each other, and trust requires being able to tell when someone genuinely needs help. Tears may have evolved as an unforgeable badge of sincerity, a way of saying, I am not bluffing, I am truly in pain, and I need you. And tears do something no scream can. A scream says danger to everyone in range, including your enemies. But tears are quiet. They only reach whoever is close enough to see your face. They're a private message that says, to you, specifically, I am vulnerable, and I trust you enough to show it. Anthropologist Ashley Montagu argued decades ago that crying strengthened the bonds within early human groups, and that those tighter bonds were a survival advantage so enormous that tearful humans outcompeted tearless ones. The ancestors who cried and who responded to crying stuck together and survived. The ones who didn't drifted apart and died. You are descended from the criers. And there's a subtler layer to this. When your eyes fill with tears, you become visibly less capable of aggression. You literally cannot see well enough to fight. So crying may also work as a white flag, a signal of harmlessness that says, I am no threat to you right now. And that vulnerability is exactly what triggers compassion in the person watching. It's very hard to stay angry at someone who is genuinely crying. Their tears pull out the instinct to comfort rather than attack. Crying might be one of the oldest peace treaties our species ever invented. Now let's talk about where this begins, because the story of human tears starts on the very first day of your life, and it contains a genuine mystery. When a baby is born, it cries immediately. That first wail is one of the most important sounds in medicine. But here's the strange thing. That newborn is crying without tears. For roughly the first few weeks of life, human babies scream and sob and turn red, but their eyes stay dry. The tear system isn't fully online yet. Real emotional tears usually don't appear until the baby is around 1 month old. And when they do, something changes between parent and child. Because a screaming baby is stressful, even a little irritating, a raw alarm. But a crying baby with actual tears rolling down its cheeks is heartbreaking. Those tears flip a switch in the adult brain, transforming annoyance into overwhelming tenderness. It's almost as if human infants develop tears at exactly the moment they most need to deepen their parents' devotion. The baby's tears are its first, most powerful tool for saying, "Don't give up on me." So let's reconstruct the moment this all mattered most. Picture a small band of early humans, 100,000 years ago, gathered around a fire. One of them has died, and around that fire something happens that had never happened anywhere in the history of life on Earth until our kind came along. The group grieves together. Their faces are wet. They are crying, not from pain in their bodies, but from a hole torn in their social world. And in that shared weeping, something is being built. Their grief binds them tighter. It reminds every person there how much they need each other. No other animal holds a funeral like this. Elephants may pause at the bones of their dead. Some primates may carry a lost infant for days. But the openly weeping, tear-streaked collective mourning of humans is ours alone. Crying didn't just help us survive as individuals. It helped us become a species that loves, that mourns, that stays. Now here's the twist, the part that makes emotional crying even stranger. We don't only cry when we're sad. You cry at weddings. You cry when your team wins. You cry when you're so proud or so overwhelmed by beauty that the feeling can't be contained. You cry from laughing too hard. What could sadness and a wedding and a sunset and helpless laughter possibly have in common? The answer researchers keep circling is this. You cry not from a specific emotion, but from emotional intensity itself. Crying may be your body's pressure valve, a release that kicks in whenever a feeling becomes too big to hold, whether that feeling is joy or grief. That may be why almost everyone knows the feeling of a good cry. That strange, cleansed calm afterward when the storm has passed and your body feels lighter. Crying might be, in a very real sense, how humans reset. And there's one final layer, the most human of all. Because we are the only animal that cries, we are also the only animal that can be moved to tears by things that aren't even happening to us. You can cry over a film, knowing its actors on a screen. You can cry reading about a stranger who died centuries ago. You can cry over a song. Human tears are wired not just to our own pain, but to our imagination, to our ability to feel someone else's experience as our own. Your tears are proof of the most powerful thing our species ever developed. Empathy so strong it can cross time, distance, and even fiction. So the next time your eyes sting and blur, and that wave rises up and spills over, don't be embarrassed by it. It's not weakness, and it's not a malfunction. For almost 4 billion years, life on this planet fought, fed, fled, and reproduced. And in all that time, not one creature shed a single tear over a feeling. Then we arrived, and we became the animal that weeps, the animal that grieves its dead, that cries at beauty, that leaks salt water because a heart, its own or someone else's, is breaking. Every other species just endures its pain in silence. You get to release yours, and in those strange, useless, beautiful tears is the whole story of what makes you human.